I have actually threw up with like a partial hangover because of exercising on the day after. TMI, I don't know why I told you that, to be quite honest, but yeah. Alright, so today's video I'm going to be talking about alcohol and muscle gains. So essentially I've got a bunch of information written down that I'm going to talk about. I actually really enjoyed researching all of this. There's a lot of studies in today's video. If you don't like that, you can always skip past those parts, but I would suggest staying for those bits because they actually are very interesting. So yeah, first things first then, to understand how alcohol is going to affect your gains, we have to understand a process called MPS. Now, MPS stands for myofibrillar protein synthesis. It's a long word, it doesn't really matter, just know that it's responsible for muscle growth. It essentially is how the body adapts to exercise, and when you have like a rest day or something like that, it's how the body recovers and rebuilds muscle. The proper nutrition is needed for this to obviously occur, so a high protein diet as such, and yeah. Let's get into how alcohol affects this then. So alcohol consumption, I haven't got coronavirus, okay? So a study in 2014 was done by these people. I'm not going to say them all because there's tons of names, but essentially the study came out with results that said that alcohol consumption interferes with the recovery and regeneration of muscle after training. And it basically said that the rates of myofibrillar protein synthesis, or MPS, which I'm going to refer to it as from this point forward because that was a mouthful, were impaired after alcohol consumption within 8 hours after a training session. And these rates were also more exaggerated when the individual hadn't consumed any protein. So basically, get your protein and don't drink alcohol is what I'm saying. So another reason, or a big reason, why alcohol will also affect your gains is because it's just the general effects of alcohol, like it gives you hangovers and stuff like that. So when you go to the gym, you're obviously going to feel more sluggish, more tired, less energetic. The workout itself is going to feel 10 times harder than what it would on a normal day, just because of the effects of alcohol. You may or may not have been to the gym before after drinking the night before. I know I have, dedication, but I know how horrible this is as well. I have actually threw up with like a partial hangover because of exercising on the day after. TMI, I don't know why I told you that, to be quite honest, but yeah. So essentially, what I'm saying is alcohol affects your glycogen stores, which can make you feel very, very tired. It also increases your blood pressure and increases your heart rate, which can obviously make everything feel a lot more difficult. I don't know if you've ever felt it before, where you have like heart palpitations and stuff like on a day after drinking, or maybe that's just me. So yeah, more tired, less gains because you're doing less. It's as simple as that. But getting into the more sciencey side of things, if we discuss men in this situation, a lot of these studies are focused solely on men just because muscle growth and testosterone are like that. And obviously men have way more testosterone than women do. So essentially, a study was conducted, again, I will put the name here, in 1977, and it basically showed that higher doses of alcohol, i.e. 4 to 8 drinks, will lower testosterone levels by 18 to 40%. However, this usually recovers within a day or so. So bad side is you're either facing like a quarter to almost half of a depletion in your potential to gain muscle. However, on the good side, you will recover within a day. So it's not the end of the world. You know, if you do want to go out for a few drinks and whatever, do it by all means, but just do remember that, you know, your training session from that day is pretty much pointless. So on top of the moderate drinking, 4 to 8 drinks, decreasing levels by 18 to 40%, bear that in mind. If you have 9 or more drinks, as shown in a study in 1990, I'll leave the source here and all of the sources will be in the description box below as well. 9 or more glasses of a drink can actually decrease your testosterone levels by 45%. And the next day as well, the decrease in testosterone levels can be as low as 23% still. So essentially what you're going with is 2 days of training at half of a depletion in testosterone and a quarter of a depletion in testosterone, which obviously they are huge numbers and they're going to really affect the potential for your muscle growth in those circumstances. But again, bear in mind these are short-term effects, so it's not the end of the world again, but you know, if you're really serious about an everyday training like regime, all that kind of stuff, then you might want to bear this in mind. If we're talking like daily casual drinking, so maybe you have like 3 drinks every single day. I know a few people that do that, not for me personally, but each to their own. If you have a few drinks a day, it is usually a decrease of testosterone by about 10%, usually less, but yeah, around that 10% mark. So it's still a reasonable like depletion in your testosterone levels, but it's again not the end of the world. And it's usually less than 10% anyway, so I won't stress too much about that. So why am I telling you this? What is this important for? So each of these studies show obviously a depletion in testosterone levels, and testosterone, it basically tells your body to build muscle. There's a pathway in your body called the mTOR pathway. I'm not going to tell you what that means because it's just not necessary, but essentially just know that it is responsible for the growth of your muscle. And testosterone basically says, hello, work, build muscle. So if you've got lower levels of testosterone, as a result, you can pretty much put the, 2 and 2 together and say, if there's low testosterone, it's not gonna trigger the mTOR pathway as much or as often, and therefore less muscle growth. There is also a study on this. If you're interested in reading it, I will put it in the description below. It's the Basualto, Alarcon et al. 2013 study, which basically explains again what I just told you, that the mTOR kinase, which is the enzyme which is responsible for the mTOR pathway, there's a decreased activity level for this enzyme, and therefore your muscle growth is impaired. So moving on to women then, what does this mean for women? The reason why I separated the two is because essentially women don't face any of these effects, because we don't have balls. We do not have a ball sack, so we don't face these effects, which, lucky for us, we can, drink and do whatever we want and still not have to worry about our muscle gains, or at least that's what a lot of studies want you to believe anyway. So I read quite a few different studies. I'll try and link some of them in the description, but sadly I didn't write any of these down for the women's one. I don't know why I did that, but I'll go back and try and find these studies. Essentially what they show is that testosterone and estrogen levels increase in women when they drink. So like for men, testosterone decreases when they drink. For women, it actually increases, which is really, really strange. So if these levels obviously increase, then there's more opportunity for protein synthesis to occur. So this actually helps their gains pretty much. It also showed that there was no decrease in muscular recovery, so in the days after, the muscle mass was perfectly fine in the recovery process, like rebuilding and everything was the same. However, protein synthesis can still be affected in women due to the alcohol toxicity and protein translation. So essentially what this means is that your proteins will not be translated as well as they would be if you weren't to consume alcohol, and therefore women can still sacrifice their protein synthesis, which means less gains. So you might have thought, oh yeah, I'm a woman, I can go and have a drink now. Not really. It still will impact you to some extent. We will not just get off, free. Women never do. We always have some sort of disadvantage to us, which is just brilliant. So yeah, so hopefully I've covered everything there. Basically, the main points to take away from this are you can drink if you drink in moderation. That's always the same for pretty much everything. Just have everything in moderation. Balance is... Okay, so that is everything for this video. Hopefully you learned something and hopefully you got something to take away from it. I hope that you enjoyed. Like, comment and subscribe. If you've got any comments or ideas about, you know, what I can cover in the coming videos, or there's any specific video that you want me to do, then leave it below and I will try and do it for you. I'll see you in the next one.